You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Comic Book Beardies presents The Geek Chat. I'm Beardy Rich.
I'm Beardy. I'm Desmond, aka Blackbeard. Didn't see you there.
You didn't see me there.
No.
How could you miss me? I'm wearing
white
blue.
As a ghost.
I'm wearing blue.
You're as white as a ghost.
I am. It's this lighting. I don't know what's going on. Anyhow, welcome to another episode of The Geek Chat. You are watching us on The Experience. You can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitch. Be sure to like each one of those and go to comicshoppingexperience.com. Sign up for our mailing list. See what shows are on. There's a bunch of really good stuff. Hey, Paul, really good stuff at comicshoppingexperience.com. And head to Facebook, like The Beardies. Comic Book Beardies is what you'll go to. And The Geek Chat.
Yeah.
What's up with you?
Not much. Just happy to be here talking about all things comics. Yay!
But there's no TV segment tonight.
No TV segment.
Even though Ahsoka did end.
We can talk about it a little bit if you want.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, let's get to. I have been dealing comic books since 2006. And I just ended my relationship with Diamond Comics, which pre-pandemic was the largest distributor of comic books. And then the pandemic hit, DC left, Marvel left, and they just kept taking hits. Image now has left. So really all we get from Diamond Comics is Boom and Dynamite. Those are the last two that are holding out. And unfortunately, we're not getting our customers those titles because we cannot with Diamond anymore. So I just want to tell you there's been a lot of excessive shipping charges that Diamond has done for the last couple of years. But it's funny, our last week with Diamond, they need to get one last screw in because 8 comic books. That is 8 comic books. That is all that was in our shipment. And this is the mother-tucking box they put it in.
And they're just free in there moving around?
Oh, there's another box in there. And then another box within this box. And then a lot of paper. Guess how much this box cost to ship me?
Like $50?
$44.
That was close.
Which made each comic $5.50, which means any profit we expected to make off them, we actually gave Diamond money just to get the comic books.
Yeah, that's bad.
That is why we're done with Diamond. I'm very sad. And they've done nothing to even try to alleviate or help.
Or try to keep your business, right?
Yeah, and I know a lot of other retailers that are also leaving them. They just, they were great to us when we really needed help. But at the last 4 or 5 years, the shipping, they're just making money off shipping at this point because they've lost so many vendors. So
So they're basically transferring the costs to the customers.
Yeah.
Which is wow. That's crazy when you really think about it.
So for the last couple of years, we would get the boxes and they started their transparent shipping maybe 5 or 6 months ago. It was a little longer. I don't know. He's ignoring me. It was like 3 or 4 months ago, and so we could see what each box costs to ship. Well, Diamond must forget that retailers also ship. We ship all over the U.S., so we can go and we can see how much that box would have cost, and the shipping, and they are Diamond Comics. They have a I don't want to say million, I don't know, a lot of money's worth of deal with UPS and FedEx. So they're getting a cheaper shipping rate than we can, but yet it's cheaper for us to ship the box directly to them. We know the cost and we know they're making money. So this was our last week with Diamond, and it's since May of 2006.
Yeah, I mean, pour one out, because I think you are just the latest in the Diamond casualties that are just it's just crazy practices that they can even get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that you are standing up and saying, you just can't, you're already a small business owner, and it's like predatory almost. So
well, that is the word that many retailers use. It is very predatory.
Yeah, and
that practice is what they've been doing.
Yeah,
so.
and when they were the only game in town, even though it wasn't a monopoly,
wasn't a monopoly.
Yeah, but once once they were not the only game in town, you can always see where people were leaving. When Disney left, when Marvel left, and then when DC left, when your two biggest suppliers are leaving, that has got to signal that there is something fishy in the cost analysis of what's going on.
Voice behind the curtain. It is the comic retail. It's a small profit margin. A lot of these mom and pop shops, that's why they sell collectibles, and that's why they sell toys, and that's why they sell pops, to make up the extra money to pay their rent, and because people like that stuff. So why not?
It's true. Also wanted to say, I wanted to give a shout out to another comic book store who is sadly closing their doors. This was hello, Kenneth.
Hey, Kenneth.
So if you're near Fresno, California, or around that area, I'm from Fresno, California. My old comic book store, who I went to when I was in high school. So
that was a long time ago too.
Not as long as Rich. Nah. Back when he had to ride dinosaurs to school.
In the snow, mind you.
In the snow, uphill both ways. There was a store by the name of Heroes Comics, and a little guy named Dave, who basically was and is the biggest comic book dealer in Fresno, California, and he's decided to retire. And he has been there for 34, or almost either 34 or 36. I know it's an even number years, so it's got to be a long time, because again, I was going there when I was in high school in the 90s. So
too bad that he's closing up.
Well, it came down to rent. The owner of the building wanted to raise his rent by 70%, and he was just like, you know what?
70%?
Yeah. And so he was like, you know what? It's time. Thank you, dear. 34 years. So he basically said, you know what? I've been here for 34 years. I have a couple grandkids I don't see very often. I work 6 days a week, sometimes 7, so I think I've had a pretty good run. And I just was like, when someone puts it out like that, you're like, well, you can't really say no to that. Like,
you and Paul should move to Fresno and you open the store.
No, thank you. No, thank you. So, yes, and deal with Diamond. No, thank you.
No.
Those razor sharp margins. So anyway, suffice to say, this is a good thing. It's sad for the people of Fresno in the surrounding area who relied on the comics. But it's
like no.
But it's a good thing for Dave, and I'm really I'm gonna miss him. But you can help him say goodbye if you're in the Central Valley close to Fresno. He's basically doing a 50% off everything in the store, I guess.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so he's trying to get rid of that back stock. So I know I'm
Go buy
going to Fresno.
something.
Oh yeah, I'm
Go
going to
buy
Fresno.
something.
So I'm definitely gonna help out his retirement fund. So
Oh, good.
so I just want to put that out there because I think comic book stores, unfortunately, can be a dying breed. And it's just one of those things that I hope does not go the way of the cassette
Record
tape
store?
or
Yeah.
the record store. But yeah, he will be in business until the end of the year. So December 31st is the last day. So you do have time, but don't wait because all the good stuff's gonna be gone.
Oh, yeah.
So
we have an announcement.
yep.
Next week, there will be no show on.
Nope.
Des is going to the New York Comic Con.
Yep. And they were very quick to say it is New York Comic Con, not New York City Comic Con. It's NYCC.
And
So,
what makes the difference? Where's this
I don't
one?
know. I don't know. It's just New York Comic Con, not
Are
New
you
York
still going
City
to the
Comic-Con.
city?
Yeah, it's in Manhattan, so I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, like so
They didn't
New
want
York.
the extra C.
So New York is all the five boroughs, right?
Well, New
Okay.
York is all, yeah.
Okay, so New York is all the five boroughs. So
Well, no, there's a whole bigger piece to New York that I used
Yeah.
to live in.
yeah,
It's-
but
it's-
like,
it's big.
where exactly is New York City?
And the city is the city.
Yeah, but
The five.
girl, so the five boroughs are New York City.
I believe so. We really should
Okay.
stop doing this.
Anyway, aren't you from that area?
Yes, I'm from upstate New York.
Yeah, you're from Snoggis, right?
Syracuse.
Syracuse. I don't know how to say that name. Anyway, so suffice to say, I'm going to New York City, New York Comic Con. Damn it, I just did it. And I'm excited. Never been there. I've gone to many comic book conventions in my time, but never
lot of
this
them.
one. The furthest east I have gone is Chicago. I went to Chicago for a Wizards World in
Oh my
Chicago.
God.
Remember those?
Yes.
Yeah, I went to a
love
Wizards
Wizard
World.
Magazine.
I went to a Wizards World in Chicago, and it was so crazy. It was in Rosemont, of all places, a suburb of Chicago. So it was crazy. But yeah, that was the furthest, east I have gone, and so I'm super
I thought
excited.
you guys have never been to New York City?
Oh no, we've been to New York City.
Oh,
I've
okay,
never been
okay,
to the
okay.
Comic Con in
A
New York.
convention. I get it. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I'm super excited. There's going to be
Sorry.
so there's going to be a ton of artists there because I guess the New York Con is huge for artists and
New York. That's New Jersey.
I think that's New Jersey. I don't think that's part
close
of the
to
city.
New York.
Yeah, it's across the water.
Water.
But anyway,
We're like, we don't know what it's called. Just say water.
yes, across the water. So I'm excited to go there because the artist alley section is not an alley. It's like a huge street. It's like
And that's what it should be everywhere.
Yes, it's fantastic. I cannot wait to go and walk up and down and spend my money at the artists' booths and
That's
see what they're
so
going to.
cool.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm going there for all 4 days. And I've gone to Comic-Con all 5 days a lot of times. So I'm working out, I'm doing my stretches, I'm keeping myself okay, that way I don't go crazy and just be like, I'm dying.
That's
I
so
really
cool.
hope-
So jealous. I want to go.
I just hope that it doesn't like rain because New York was flooded a couple weeks ago. So I'm like, please don't rain, although it's supposed to rain on Friday, but who knows?
So
the weather.
when is it? It's next week, right?
Next week, yeah.
Okay. So the thing is, I remember it snowing in New York as early as Halloween.
Please don't
So
say that.
we
Don't-
would get
don't say that.
snow in October, and then the snow lasts until May. That's why I left.
Don't say that. I went there. I've been to New York, during December, and the snow flurries almost killed me.
No, they did.
It was like razor blades. I was like, ah, and then it got so cold, and I said that I would never go to New York or the upper East Coast. You know, I would never go there again because it's just too cold. You know, I'm a California boy.
Go in the summer.
Oh yeah, I go in the summer. You know, when
good.
it's fall, when the colors are changing.
Oh,
that's
I love
great.
fall. I do miss that.
But the one thing that I'm super shut up, Paul. so one thing that I do love is that I'm a huge Ultraman fan, and Ultraman they really show out at New York City Comic Con. So I'm going to be going to a couple of panels in which I'm going to be able to see Ultraman, an actual Ultraman live, fight.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, and I'm going to take pictures with Ultraman and buy Ultraman figures. I'm just going to do all kinds of crazy ass Ultraman stuff. So what does Don say? Don Johnson says, same reason I left Minnesota. It's not that it's snowy and cold.
It's for how long? Yes.
Yeah. Even an hour is too long for me.
You would never last.
No. And when I was a kid, I used to be like, yay, snow, yay. Nope. As I've gotten older, my skin has gotten way too thin and pretty. So
yeah, when I first moved here, people would be walking around what you guys would consider cold, and I'd be like wearing a t-shirt and like jeans and no jacket, and they'd be like, how aren't you cold? And I was like, I don't know. Fast forward 23 years, I'm freaking cold when it's cold. Like today's too hot. It's 90. I'm like, oh, it's too hot.
Yeah. So we're planning on dressing really, really well. I'm so happy Paul is going with me because we're expert travelers. So we have a whole bunch of other bags.
You two should do the Amazing Race.
No.
Yes.
I could not do the Amazing Race with Paul. We would kill each other. We would kill each other. I love him to death, but we would kill each other. They would find our bodies in a boat in like Indonesia or something. No, thank you.
So Coog and I would love to do it, but the eating challenges and the height challenges and the water challenges, like half the challenges, we'd be like, just send us home.
Well, I would do the challenges. The challenges would be great. All that stuff is fine. It's just the whole traveling and trying to get someplace on time.
Yeah, you're not known for being on time.
Oh, so. So anyway, I do want to talk about the ending of Ahsoka real quick, because how did you like that? Because I'm thinking about going back and watching it fully and seeing how that is. What was your thought?
So take the episode as the episode, and I really liked it. It did some weird stuff with magic, and the writing is a little weird. They're doing a James Bond theme.
Scary.
That is awesome. Oh my god, I can't wait.
You completely derailed him. He's gonna have to.
I know, right?
Set the VCR, dear.
Don't laugh. We still have one. Where was I? Oh yeah, Ahsoka. So they did some magic. They threw in a lot of spirituality. Yeah, no. It was good. It was a lot of fun. The witches they've introduced. Well, witches have always been, but mostly in the books and
in the comics, right? No, not really in the comics either. Actually,
no. Was really not in the main. But they're okay. I'll just tell you, they've announced nothing of what's coming. So we don't know if there's a season 2. We don't know if it's going into the Mandalorian. We don't know if it's going to be the Filoni movie that they want to make. So the ending left you with way too many plot lines, including one that a dead guy is in, because they didn't know. So he's like on the mountain, and Night Sisters were. Thank you. It was Cook said it was very Lord of the Rings. But our heroes did what the heroes needed to do, and now another hero is returned. But there's nothing. We don't know anything. That is the part I think I'm mostly not knowing where this is continuing.
So was it a complete story, or was it just set up?
Yes. No, it actually was a story.
Okay.
Things were resolved.
Good. Okay.
But for everything that was wrapped up nicely, one was just left open. There's a lot of plot threads.
Well, I'm wondering how they're gonna deal. Yeah, and I know the dead guy, like the main Sith, that's her teacher, I guess, who
No,
died.
no,
The guy with the beard, right? So
that's not. He's nothing to do with her.
I thought he was no. I thought he was
a Jedi at one time.
But I thought that he was the mentor of the girl with the woman with the white hair.
Oh yes, and
I'm wondering how they're going to resolve that because he is dead now.
Well, they parted ways. That's what I mean. They introduced him standing on these two giant like mountains with faces carved into them.
Yeah.
And well, are they going to recast? Like, who knows?
Maybe write him out or something. I don't know if they're going to be able to recast because at some point, I think Filoni's a pretty good writer that they might be able to write something or have something go on.
So Coog knows how they can do it.
Oh Lord!
The next one opens and he's standing on the cliff because he was standing on a cliff. He just falls over. So they just put someone in his same outfit and they film it from behind and he falls off the cliff. I just wrote it. You can pay me some money, Filoni.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look us up, Filoni.
I liked it. You know what? It was a good series. It got a lot of harsh criticisms in the beginning, and some of the writing was a little sloppy. Like the Night Sisters could sense on the planet where Ahsoka was, but they don't know that there's someone with the Force in the ship they're on. It was a little
sensitive.
It was a little weird. The statue was the father. That was the step. Oh. See?
But again, there's something about Star Wars, and I want to get into it, but I'm still very sour from the last movie. So I find it very hard to give it my time right now. And I know that this stuff is supposed to be really good, and I just think I just have to kind of jump back in with both feet. Much the same way I'm going to do with Loki, which is going to be coming up. I think it's next week.
It's today.
Oh, it's today.
It's today.
Okay, so then Paul and I are going to, because to tell you the truth, I know everything that happened the Loki season 1, but I never actually watched all of it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch all of them before I watch the new one, to get completely caught up with it. Because for one thing, I don't know if Loki was that good of a character, to get its strong of a character to get its own spinoff. But from what I hear from everybody, it's really good, and it's one of the only ones that deserved a season 2, and it really actually is setting up stuff for the much bigger, broader universe. Because She-Hulk, even though I thought it was good, didn't really do anything for the series for the giant Marvel thing, which I thought was good. But at the same time, it's like, how does this relate to everything else? Moon Knight, same thing. Miss Marvel, okay, we're getting ready to see the payoff in the movie, but at the same time, hi Kenneth. At the same time, I'm kind of wondering, what's going to happen with Loki and it being about Victor Timely and all the stuff that's going to happen with that. Because now is the time, if they're going to recast Jonathan Majors, this is the time that they're going to do it, because they can have him die or morph or get killed by another variant of King that looks different if they do not want to recast him in the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Because his trial hasn't started yet, has it?
What was that?
His trial hasn't started yet.
No, not at all. So I'm just saying, if they want to distance themselves from it, having something happen in Loki would be the time.
Yeah. So the reviewers, the early credit, the reviewers that got to see, I think the first four, they're saying it's really good. So
I mean, I can imagine. I think that Tom Hiddleston really has really grown into that character like immensely. So I am not surprised that he is, he's running with it. So that's why when I'm seeing him now, I'm like, okay, this is a series worth watching and investing time in. Because even though it's setting up much more in the Marvel Universe, it's still a good story. And I think that's one of the things that that some of the Marvel properties is lacking is a good story that connects to the much larger universe.
Right.
You know, because everything that they started in the first Loki, in my opinion, was wasted, has been wasted up until now, I think, because nothing has come out of it. And the stuff that led into Ant-Man and the Wasp just did not work.
Right.
It didn't work at all. So I'm hoping that they can course correct with this one.
Marvel's lost a lot of focus in a lot of their movies.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. You know, so my hope is that Marvel's will hopefully break that trend. Yeah. Again, I'm not hopeful for it. I do think that Miss Marvel will be the ray of sunshine in that. But I just don't know what to expect. And so we will be watching it together. Like we're going to go to the movies together, and then we will report back on the show to let you know exactly our thoughts about it. So best believe that Rich and I will be reporting back. Yeah. And I'm excited. Like I know the movie's probably going to be garbage, you know, but I'm hopeful. Actually, it probably will be good. Like they can't go anywhere else but up from here, I would hope.
So be sure to stay tuned. We're going to review this week's 2 number ones, G.O.D.S by Jonathan Hickman and Valerio Schiti, and Transformers by Daniel Warren Johnson and I think Mike Spice. Is that his name? Mike Spice?
Yes.
So stay tuned. The Geek Chat will return.
Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find the link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do. And thanks for supporting the EXP.
Comic Collectibles is a pretty straightforward show. You got Rex here, he sells the comics, and you got Rockin' Robbie, he knows about the comics. And finally, John, well, no one really knows what John does. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a great guy, but he just keeps showing up. Come to think of it, I don't even really know how he gets in here. Anyway, awesome comics, rare books, rarer signatures, slabbed books, and amazing cover sketches by Ken Hazer and others. Simple formula, you want the comics, you buy the comics. To sum up, Rex sells the comics, Robbie knows the comics, and John, who might possibly be a ghost. I mean, seriously, has anyone ever seen him show up or leave? Comic Collectibles with Rex and John, Mondays from 6 to 8 Eastern on The Experience. Comic Culture and Sales.
You know how when you go to Comic-Con, after Comic-Con, you go to the hotel bar, and there's a whole bunch of people playing music and dancing, and you've got Pikachu and Lara Croft Tomb Raider doing the cha-cha slide just down from Deadpool and Batman and Wonder Woman? That's every Saturday night over on the Experience Twitch channel. Join Taji Beats for the EXP Dance Party, exclusively on Twitch, twitch.tv/the_EXP. Programming on the EXP is made possible by viewers like you, or your local comic shop, or that Kickstarter you backed, or the publisher you like, or comic industry professionals who want to share a message with the world. Really, anyone who wants to advertise with us can. If you're interested in seeing a product you know and love, or are creating, or are publishing, or are involved with, advertised here on The Experience, and having your message shared with our viewers, please reach out by scanning the QR code below or visiting our website and using the contact form.
Welcome back to the Comic Book Beardies presents the Geek Chat. I'm Beardy Rich.
And I'm Desmond, aka Black Beardy.
And you are watching us on The Experience. Be sure to go to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. Like us, follow us, subscribe. Make sure you go to comicshoppingexperience.com, sign up for the mailing list. And while you're on Facebook, give the Geek Chat a like and the Comic Book Beardies as well. So I just want to let you know, we talked about it in the last segment. We will not be on next week, but when we return on October 19th, we will have a special guest in the third quarter. It will be Dave O'Shea. He is the creator of The Glory Hole, which is a public access show. This will be his second season. I can't remember. We'll find out from him, but he's a really nice guy. And be sure to check us out on October 19th for the Geek Chat. So, Transformers.
Okay.
More than meets the eye.
So I got the Ryan Otley cover because I'm a huge Ryan Otley fan. So, which one did you get?
This is the Johnson. It's
okay.
one of his.
One of the other covers.
Yeah, I believe.
I loved just seeing Prime smashing through Starscream.
Oh my God, yes.
Fantastic. Just fantastic. I saw it. I think it was the last one and I got it. It was just
stores,
top choice.
Stores have been selling out of this book, which is really good.
Oh,
because, you know, the last time Transformers was at IDW and it had a following, but it wasn't anything like this. And I'm so glad that Robert Kirkman has introduced the Energon universe, which started in Void Rivals.
Yep.
I think I mentioned it last week or the week before. Shockwave has shown up in Void Rivals. And Jetfire was... So if you're questioning in the Transformers #1, say you bought it and you aren't reading Void Rivals, Jetfire talks about him awakening and he's really sorry. He was on this planet that was in Void Rivals, and he actually interacted with two of the warring races and sped off, and that gave them an idea to get off by working together. So you see Jetfire returns in Transformers #1. Interesting way they use Teletron 1, I thought. It's a little different from the original.
Which is fine. Oh,
yeah. The ideas in the book, I just feel, are modernized.
Yes.
Like Spike Wickwurkey, or however you say his last name.
I can never say his last name.
He now has a girlfriend, rides a van, wants to be an astronaut. I thought that was a little weird.
I liked it.
Oh, I know, but I just thought, how convenient. He wasn't wearing workman's overalls and the hard hat anymore. Totally just an average human.
With an alcoholic dad.
Yes. Oh, they made
I was not expecting that.
So the covers are a little misleading because only certain Transformers were reawakened. And right off the bat, the very first one is Starscream.
Ugh.
Interesting choice. I love that there's no Megatron yet.
He goes off.
I love that he won't even allow Soundwave to say it. So great.
He goes off.
Yes.
Like he is straight villainous. I
love it. It would actually be the progression if the cartoon allowed characters to grow.
And Bumblebee. I was like,
he'll be back. He's on the. That's not him.
Nope.
Oh.
I think Johnson is taking it into. I think he's marrying G1 and G2 together, and I think we're gonna get some originals and some of the newer stuff, and I think it's gonna be a marriage of the two universes into one, because this is all fresh new stuff that he can mine. And I watched some of his so on Friday nights Daniel J. Warren does a like an hour-long live stream on YouTube that you can watch, and he'll draw and talk about stuff. And he was talking a little bit about Transformers, and he has, like, I don't want to say that he has a lot of leeway, but Hasbro is allowing them to really like play, like actual play in their universe and create interesting, pretty adult stories. And I'm like, wow. And I think it's great that Hasbro has realized that, all these people from the 80s and 90s,
They're grown up.
and they have disposable income. So let's tailor stories to them.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're getting a much more stripped down version of the Transformers. I did not read any spoilers. I had no idea what I was getting into when I came into this, but part of it kind of shocked me how Starscream was. I'm like, he really did not soft shoe Starscream at all. Like, and it was weird because if you've ever watched G1 or Generation 1, you know his voice.
Oh my
And-
god, I read the whole comic book and those voices.
Yes. And
all
when,
of it.
oh my god, that and when Soundwave was talking,
I heard the robot.
I heard his
Yep.
voice.
The share-eyed voice.
Yep, the sheriff's one. And when and poor Prowl, and just all the stuff that was happening just seemed like it was ripped straight from the cartoons. So
And then Starscream's first introduction to human.
oh yeah. At the end, I was like, geez. And then the kids pushing,
The gun?
the gun to him. Just little things like that, showing the size difference and the fact that they've been there for like centuries and didn't know what humans were, and they're having to like trust these people and this trust and stuff. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Like this number one, this was a perfect number one.
Yeah, I agree.
It really introduced, it really used the best parts of nostalgia to create something fresh and new. So
Yeah.
I just want to be clear, and I want you to, I'm trying to clear this. This is basically starting fresh. This is nothing. Okay, because when they were in the ship, I was like, okay, so this is the first time that the Transformers are being reawakened. And so when he
Right.
was talking, you have to, when he was saying, I found things that can replicate who you were, and now you have to look like these things, and I was thinking, okay, this is like full on, like new number one, not taking anything from any of the other continuities, and we're rolling. And I was like, okay, I'm here.
But there's the rub right there. If these are Earth forms, this is my only catch. He should have drawn Jetfire in his Cybertronian ship, like the Seekers used to be.
Okay.
Why would he be this jet plane? That was my one rub.
Okay, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
You're right. That
That's
and
the
of
one
course,
thing.
Of course, he was like that because of the original toy,
The
and that's
toy, yes,
and that's
I get that.
that's why. Plus, I think they killed him because they didn't want any kind of spoiler. They didn't want any kind of thing with like Robotech, because like his design is shared with the Robotech universe. So I think they basically got him in, used him as a plot device to bridge the two, and then got him out of there, which is fine. He might come back. Who knows? As something else.
Yeah.
Are you excited? Are you excited for any of the new toys that are probably going to be produced from this?
If the comic book series produces toys, maybe.
That's what I mean.
I've been so in case anyone doesn't know, you can see the Constructicons, Devastator.
Mm-hmm.
It's over my other shoulder this way. That is, I can't remember his damn name. Anyhow, I love Transformers. Huh?
Hot Rod?
No, that's the animal combiners. Do you remember you and I were at a convention? Oh my God. It was Comic-Con convention, and I saw it, and the guy wanted like $100 for it, which was way cheaper, and I ended up buying it. Predaking. It's Predaking.
Yeah, Predaking. Yes, I remember that, and you were like, "Oh!"
I was so excited. So I open all my toys. The Transformers, they all get opened. In fact, I just completed the Insecticons last week. So I was really excited for this book. And the G.I. Joe, Larry Hama, was writing forever, and then it ended. And I remember reading the issue, and I was like, this isn't an end. This is there's more.
Yeah,
and
needs more.
We didn't know that Robert Kirkman had acquired the G.I. Joe property from Hasbro, as well as the Transformers one. And McFarlane already making I don't know what that is, but I'm going to have to find it. So thank you, Jay. My husband thanks you too.
Yes.
So I was really excited when they finally announced that G.I. Joe will be starting up brand new #1, but using what he has done. And they're putting out a Cobra Commander.
I know you got excited for that one.
I was very in January. I also love G.I. Joe. I love
Duke?
Transformers more.
I was
Duke,
like,
which
Duke series?
Duke is whatever. I'll read it, but
I'm surprised. Honestly,
so many better.
Yeah,
characters.
I'm surprised it wasn't Storm Shadow, but they're probably going to bring him out later.
Probably.
And do their own thing with him. But I was like, pretty cool. Like, I'm really like, wow, this is really starting to fire off on all cylinders, and I really can't wait to see what the first large crossover is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Transformers, thumbs up for me.
Thumbs up for me. I'll definitely buy it.
It's a yay.
Again, it's definitely gonna buy. What'd you say?
It's a yay.
Yeah, definitely yay.
The next book, on the other hand.
Oh, stop that.
We are going to be talking about G.O.D.s.
Now, again, we do spoilers. So if you don't want anything, definitely come back and talk and come back after you read it and watch the pod.
So It is Jonathan Hickman, Valerio Schiti, which I've loved his art forever, Marte Gracia, and VC's Travis Lanham. And the cover artist for this is Matthias Manhanini, which is a new artist. I don't remember his name for Marvel using. So I love the cover. I don't know why they didn't just pick one of Valerio's art pieces, but okay, not Marvel. What'd you think?
I want to hear your thoughts first.
Really? So this is basically a self-contained book. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and lots of questions. Don't know the next issue's about another god. The relationships were I just hit the wrong button. Hold on, I'm in the wrong thing. I like the art.
Oh, come on.
What'd you think?
No, I want to hear, seriously.
No, come on.
Be honest. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what you thought.
It is Hickman. It is straight up Hickman. It is wordier than hell. It is Hickman using characters. He's reimagining characters to build a new Marvel pantheon. That's what I thought.
Okay. But I mean, come on, you gotta give me a little bit more. Did you not like the story? Just like the setup?
The story was fun. Like I said, relationships, new people. It was weird seeing Doom with all the sorcerers, but it makes total sense. Don't know why he would help them. I don't know.
I think the one thing that this book did was, even though it was a beginning and middle and end, and there was a resolution at the end of the story, it was a setup for for Wynn's disillusionment with the current pantheon. So basically what this whole thing was a setup in order for Wynn to have a motivation to go on this epic journey in G.O.D.s. That's what this was. And it was very clear, given the dialogue that Wynn had with his former wife, it was clear. And at the end, when he had that sort of existential conversation with Stephen Strange um, about are you
What's
good,
good
are
and
you bad,
good or
blah blah
bad?
blah, stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I think that sets up when being able to question, are gods good? Are they evil? Are they indifferent? Because the one thing that I got from this comic was as I was reading it, and if you watched the show before, and if you've listened to any of the other podcasts we did a long time ago, I sometimes do not like new characters when there are tons of already established characters that you can use. And so when you create a new character, it really should be for a reason or to fill a void that is not there. Okay? And one thing that Marvel did not have was a John Constantine like character. And Wynn is definitely going to be that character. That antithesis of Doctor Strange, where Doctor Strange has to be good, Wynn can be another character. That can be that grayscale. Because I was reading this and I'm thinking this is something that Doctor Strange as a sorcerer supreme should be dealing with. This is something that Doctor Doom, who is super powerful, could be dealing with. Why is Wynn dealing with this? Why is this person being created to pull into this?
Right.
And that's the reason why. It was a vehicle in order to give the main character and show the reader his purpose
But
of
you
what's
know the
going to
next
happen.
issue is not him.
No, it's not. But again, he is. But what's happening is Hickman is building to something. That's
Oh
what he
yeah,
does.
I know.
That's
I know.
everything that he does. So even though the next issue is not about Win, we're gonna see him again
Yeah,
when
yeah,
the
yeah.
real thing starts. And that's why I'm thinking like all this God stuff and all this other stuff is already happening. It's because he's setting something up. And when they tried to put him on an established book, that that they were like, oh, he's going to revive it, it didn't work because there were too many fingers in the pot. I'm talking about
Right.
X-Men. That's why I honestly believe that's why everything in X-Men was cut short, and he went off and said, okay, well, I'm going to do Ultimates, which is completely devoid of anybody, and then I'm gonna go and redo the pantheon of the gods because no one's really doing cosmic level stuff right now. I mean, you can say the Guardians of the Galaxy, but that's not really happening.
No.
Really to the
No.
point of when DNA or Danny Abnett and Abnett DNA, the guys who did all the Annihilation Wave and all that other stuff, they were the last ones to really do, and maybe the what was that, the weird portal that you could walk through and it made you super powerful. The X-Men
The Black
guards
Door?
Yeah, the Black Door, that thing. So there hasn't really been any super fantastical cosmic stuff in a long time. And I'm not talking about the Thanos stuff that Starlin did. I don't even consider that canon at this point. But this is what's happening, and so that's why I'm looking at that book and I read it and I was like, okay, this is all set up for something. I'm glad that it had an ending and we got to see it. It was kind of rushed, but that's what he deals that's how he is. He builds up these giant things,
Right.
these
And
giant
then
ideas.
lets it go.
And then he tries to like break it down in smaller chunks to stretch it out.
I think you might have nailed on why I didn't like it. I mean, I didn't hate it. I really didn't hate it. I love the art. So we are going to talk about a book called Plot Holes. And, Plot Holes was brand new characters as well to me. And reading this and seeing the mix of the new and the old, I guess, like you, the newness of these characters didn't grab me. I was not grabbed by this book.
No,
there were some ideas in it that I thought were pretty good, but this didn't hook me. It wasn't a hook me kind of book that's going to make me buy the next issue for me. And then knowing that the next issue is yet another new character. Hey, I will say one thing. Thank you, Marvel, for not making these a series of one-shots, because we know Marvel loves its number ones.
Yep.
Loves its number ones. So
Well,
I
it's an event. Like they're creating an event, and these are the players in the event.
right. I woke up this morning, and funny, I was thinking about the show, and I was like, I think this book's going to end at like 9 or 10. I don't see it going a full year. I just don't. So
I think that's very ambitious for Marvel to do it for a full year, to take that much time to redo all that stuff. I mean, that's a lot. I mean,
yeah.
I can't imagine that either. I mean, kudos to them if they do it. But speaking about designs, yeah, I'd have to agree. I did not think Wynn's design was all that, all that. Like the art was good, but his design with the scar over his eye and the white hair and everything, it just
What's decorum?
it's another book that Hickman writes.
Really?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think that's what it is. I haven't read it. Hickman is very hit or miss for me, But again, I could totally see, uh, Nate Gray being the character that Wynn is playing. I totally think that Nate Gray, because then you could pull in the when he was a shaman.
Well, that I was just gonna say, where is he when they need this shaman now?
See, this is what I'm talking about. There's other people that could have filled that could have filled the role a lot better.
We're gonna talk about Exodus later.
Oh yeah, when we talk about that, exactly. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's just I want to like it, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, and I do think that Corvus Cox, the guy that was the villain in this, I think he's definitely going to be back, and I think that we're going to get a book about him, and they're all going to come together and something's going to happen, because you don't create a villain like that just to have them be a one-shot type of person. So he'll be back, and yeah.
So are you a yay or a nay?
Oh, I'm a yay. I mean, if anything, for the artwork and to see what's going on. I'm more interested in what's going on with Hickman in the Ultimates. To be completely honest with you, I'm interested in that. But this is okay. I've always been a fan of the cosmic pantheon, so we'll see.
Yeah. So I just want to let all our viewers, if you do have friends and you think, hey, they might listen to these two chuckleheads, go on. Let them know. Let them know we're on.
Okay, one last thing before we go on our next break.
Okay, what is
I want to talk about the new Golden Age. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this real quick is because it's a reprint. It reprints the new Golden Age #1, but it gives bonus previews of the Sandman #1, which is Wesley Dodds, the Sandman #1.
Riley Rossmo.
Yep. Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, and Jay Garrick as the Flash #1. So this is Jeff Johns' new thing where he's, everything old is new again. And I really enjoy when he does stuff like that. But the problem was any kind of momentum that he had from this, because this original went into Justice League of America, which was about the Huntress and Earth 2 people.
Yep.
And I love the Earth 2 stuff. So when I got this, I was like, this is awesome, and I want to see what the previews are, because I love Earth 2. And so I really wanted him to I wanted to buy it to support #1, because I really hope that we get some stuff from Earth 2. And the second thing, which I thought was really cool, I don't know about you, but I was a huge DC Who's Who fan. If you're not sure about DC's Who's Who, it came out in the 80s, and it basically was their appendix of all of the characters in DC Comics. And they did something like that for all of the Earth 2 characters that are being created new. So you have Earth 2 Aquaman.
We're gonna have to get this book for me if it's still in print.
You have the new characters, Cherry Bomb. And the cool thing about it is a ton of these were done by Todd Knock, who is one of my favorite artists, which I hopefully
did you read his Stargirl?
I did. I did. It's really fantastic. That's why I'm hoping that he is in this new stuff, this new world, universe that they're creating. They did a ton of really cool stuff in this, and the creatures, the characters that they created, The Boom, which is Jay Garrick's daughter. It's just all this really cool stuff that came out of it. Plus, the 3 stories in the back looked actually really good. The Alan Scott story it's really interesting because it's like supposed to be the 50s or some time like that. And so he's gay and the government knows about it. And so the government is blackmailing him in order to do something.
Oh, I know. I read it.
See, I want to read it. It's just like stuff like that. Like
I read all 3 of them, actually.
Oh, what was your favorite out of all of them?
Definitely going to be the... Sandman for the art, but the Green Lantern story was better. I just want to get this in real quick. Jay says, the art and decorum needs to be in a museum. Art by Mike Huddleston.
Huh.
Genius. I know the name, so we probably have decorum somewhere around this apartment. I will have to check it out. And yeah, the JSA has been really good.
Yeah.
And their Power Girl is actually Power Girl.
Yes, and this is like any momentum because Jeff Johns took too much damn time to get it done, and it just annoyed me. So finally, he got it done, and now I'm like excited for what's going to happen. I'm telling you, World's Finest is really good. This new Golden Age, I think, is going to be good. So anything that's not, current DC timeline or canon, I'm there for it. I don't know, something about the current DC timeline. I just can't. The canon right now, I don't know. It's a little shaky, y'all. It's a little shaky.
I read Power Girl #2 and Flash #2.
What do you think of Power Girl? Well, save it because I don't want to. I know you were very last episode. You were hating on it hard. So
yeah. So stay tuned. We're going to be going over. I'm hoping we have enough time because I really want to talk about this book, Plot Holes, and I want to talk about the X books from this week because what? So you are watching the Comic Book Beardies presents The Geek Chat on The Experience. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere The Experience is all the time.
You just finished the last episode of your favorite new show, and you just have to talk about it. But all your friends are ghosting you because of that incident last week at the buffet. Oh, you know the one. What you did to that chowder. Ugh. Keeps me up at night. So what do? Join writer Dan Wickline as he breaks down all your favorite pop culture media. Whether it's a review of the latest nerdy TV show or a dive back into the history of your favorite comic characters, Dan's ready to discuss all the hottest topics live. Join the conversation as Dan live streams Tuesday through Thursday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. The Dan Wickline Show on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Go follow The Experience on TikTok at @the_EXP1 or scan the QR code on the screen. Our TikTok is like everywhere else we are, except you only have to deal with us for a minute. Seems like a win-win to me.
I love our theme music. Reminds me of Maniac. I just need a little bucket of water above me.
Bucket of high C.
So, hi, welcome back. I am Beardy
Hawaiian
Rich.
Punch. And I'm Desmond, aka Blackbeardy.
And you are watching us, the Comic Book Beardies, presents The Geek Chat. And I just learned something. During the commercial break, I had to write it on my notes. So, you are watching us on The Experience. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and I just learned we're on that TikTok thing. No, TikTok. We're on the TikTok now in you short bits of us, which is really good sometimes. Be sure to like, subscribe, all the good things. Head to Facebook and like the Geek Chat and the Comic Book Beardies. And for everything The Experience, you can go to comicshoppingexperience.com and sign up with the mailing list. So, I want to say two more things before we get reviewing these books. Sketch Up with Mog and Mel follows us at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And on tonight's show, they're going to have 6 artists talking about their journeys creating comic books. And they are going to have some free art giveaways as well. So on The Experience, Sketch Up with Mog and Mel. And before us is a great, great woman, Miss Jen, and she does What's in the Box. And she did Scout Comics stuff today. Scout is a relatively newer, last couple years, comic book publishing company who puts out some fabulous titles. So, and we'll probably end up reviewing one of their books too once a new #1 comes out.
Yep.
But I want to talk about a book that I didn't even know we had in the house. It is Sean Murphy, who, if you read DC, he did all the Batman,
The White Knight stuff.
Yeah, brilliant.
which is awesome. Like,
Yes.
I was very surprised that he was doing other stuff again, because he had done White Knight for like almost damn near five years.
Yeah.
So
It's still going on too.
Yeah, it's still going on. So he created quite, again, not DC continuity. Current, it's an Elseworlds.
It is.
You know, where everything is completely different on its head, and it's pretty damn cool.
So we should talk about that one of these episodes. The difference with Marvel and now, or what DC and now Marvel is doing, because Marvel puts out a lot of comic books, especially with the X-Men, that are set in the past, which are also kind of Elseworlds, because this stuff, it's like a what would have happened.
Yeah.
That we should do that. But right now I want to talk about Plot Holes. This is the Walter Simonson cover.
I didn't realize. See that? Yeah, I got the base one. I didn't realize there was multiple covers. That's a really cool cover.
And then the #2 is by Murphy.
Yep, that's what I got.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't. The weird thing about it was I wasn't sure if, like, this man must not sleep. Well, he's not drawing. He's not doing any of the art for the Batman White Knight stuff anymore.
He's doing all this now.
Yeah, he's doing this now, which is
the
great.
Art was amazing.
Yeah, I've been a huge fan of his for a very, very long time. And I bought most of the stuff that he has done prior. So when he came out with Massive, which I think is his own creator-owned company, like, I think this is his own stuff, is I was like, yeah, let's see what's going on. And I was not disappointed. Very interesting stuff, I have to say. What were your thoughts?
I went first for Gods. You go.
No, you
first.
did not.
I did too. You go.
You didn't say anything. So it reads a lot. So it's called The Plot Holes, and they're a team of. Okay, so
spoilers.
Spoilers. If you've ever read The Unwritten by DC Vertigo title, or if you've read Fables, and things are stories that deal with literary creatures coming to life or anything like that, this is kind of what that is. What's happening is the plot holes are literary characters that are saved from books that are basically trash books. And there's this program that was created in order to edit them. And so what the program did was it created a subspace dimension where these characters live, and they jump into digital books and they fight characters in the book that are bad for the book. Like if there's like a derivative plot or a dangling plot, they will go and correct that. So think
Yeah.
about think of it as a as an editor that is chat GP, or an AI chat, but they have a little thing and a little machine, and they click the book into it, and they go into
It's
the
the
book.
bookmark.
Yeah, the bookmark, and
The
they go
bookmark.
into the book, and that's how they do it. Well, there's a problem going on. There's this corruption called the bookworm that is going through, and it is killing and eating all of these books. And so now they're tasked to save the books while continuing to make them, better than they already are by editing them to make them masterpieces. And so
Right.
that's their goal. And so the main character, or the two main characters, is an older woman, Ed. We think is short for editor, and there's rumors that she was a real person at one point,
Yeah.
but then some weird kind of like Tron shit happened, and she went into Tron. She went into the program or something. They don't know. And then the other guy was saved from his book that was going to be deleted by the bookworms, and so she pulls him out and tells him this, and so he's like freaking out because he didn't realize that his life was a book, and so he's trying to acclimate. So we are the reader looking at it through his eyes. So that's kind of a really nice little, framing, not a framing, but there's a really nice little device that they use to bring the reader in. And you meet this cadre of characters, the manga type guy who has big eyes, and you have this weird kind of like Calvin and Hobbes kid that's reminiscent of Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes, and he's like a little like gun-toting kid who's really like aggressive and stuff.
Like he's 96-year-old stuck in a 6-year-old body.
Yeah, because
or 8-year-old body.
Yeah, because he's been around for that long, because that's when he was published. In a Blue Tiger from like a medieval fantasy, and they're all working together, to save these books. So I think it's a very imaginative story and plot. I don't know. I think it's pretty sustainable, and by that, and I always do this for creator-owned indie titles, because you never know how long it's gonna be, because it's creator-owned, and you're not sure if they can prolong the story as long as they can. But I have
the nice thing is,
and Sean, I have faith in Murphy, so I like the story so far.
I do too. Well, the nice thing is, this could be like a Suicide Squad type mission, where one character dies, they just bring someone else in. So he could go like Legends of Tomorrow. He could go for a while with this. So it's funny. Des and I text back and forth, and this is our relationship right here. I said, I'm reading plot holes now, and he says, hope you enjoy them. I said, you didn't like it? He goes, I did. I just know how you are. Well, I liked it.
I'm also well. Again, you're like, is this in the house? I don't even know where it is.
I did not even know it came out. Number 2. So the funny thing is, number 2 came out, and I'm going through this week's box, and I'm like, oh well, he says we got it. I can't find it. And I had searched for the number 1. He said it came out when Marvel 1000 and Doom Patrol 5 came out. So I found that box, and I'm going through it, and I'm like, I don't know. We must not have got the number 1 either. He's imagining it. Whatever. I'm just going to let Des review it. And then I went through a weird box that has random comics in it, and I found Plot Holes number 1. And I was like, oh. So then I went back to the box of this week's books, and there it was.
Yeah. Good story. And
it's
again,
a very good story.
I trust Murphy because I've read a lot of his other creator-owned stuff that was done through Dark Horse before he got the gig with DC. So I think he is and if you look at if you go back and read a couple of his interviews, he's a very smart guy. And by that I mean, one of the things that he was talking about was being a creator-owned person and doing it, and what he would have learned doing it the next time. And he was basically like, you can go to art school and you can become an artist and you can be released into the wild and become a great artist. But one thing they don't teach you at art school is how to make money. Because it's all focused on the skills of drawing art. They don't teach you how to sustain your art. And that's one of the problems that he was saying, and so he had to basically go back and learn all this stuff about how to, make money being an artist. And I thought that was really kind of cool. So he was like, you know what? Become an artist, do all that, but also take business classes. And so he just seems like he has a really good head on his shoulders. So that's another reason why I've always really supported him. Aside from his art being fantastic, is the fact that he just seems like a very down to earth guy that really knows what's going on, and his writing is phenomenal. You should really read Punk Rock Jesus if you want.
I have. It's a great book.
Another great book by him. So yeah, I think this is great. Another book that he previewed at the back, which is coming out by him. I swear to God, this man does not sleep. Is Zorro, Man of the Dead?
Yes. I'll read it. I've never read a Zorro book, but you know what?
I'm gonna get you. But he's doing the artwork for this too, so I'm like, so I'm there for it.
I want to
massive
say,
live.
When the story came about the manga guy, and it went to the black and white pages, that is very smart on his part to do that, because I felt like I walked right into his story.
Yep.
And so when you read the number 1, you read the character designs and you learn a lot about these characters.
Yeah.
And then I read number 2, and he does this brilliant way of telling the origin story in one page using multi-panels within the one page. He does this for the different characters, all but Ed, because we're not supposed to know much about Ed.
Yeah.
The fact that he has thought so much backstory into the characters and isn't just writing them at face value, that is another reason why I really enjoyed this book. Because I feel like these characters have been around and they're weighted. And I think that for me was the difference between Gods. I didn't feel like these characters meant anything. They just were going about the motions because he needed to get to the next issue to explain. That's really the difference I felt between reading Gods and reading this in Plot Holes. Is Plot Holes, he gave us, yes, we know that Merwin or whatever his name, Win, and this woman, they were married. Yeah, we get that story. But she told the story from her side, where here I felt more like the characters were alive. Weird to say, yes, because they're like you said, fictional characters in a fictional book. I don't know. That was the biggest difference for me, are the characters.
All right, and with that, we're gonna go on to our last section.
You're gonna continue Plot Holes, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. But our last section is talking about Fall of the X-Men. So I know I only read one of them because it was the only one that really spoke to me, and I also forgot that the other two came out. So
we're gonna be talking about Immortal X-Men, and I'm really sad. This is Lucas Warnock's last issue, and I have been reading X-Men for a very long time, and I have to say, his artwork
was great.
Is so refreshing to the X books. It was Kieran Gillen, Lucas Warnock artist, David Curell color artist, VC's Clayton Cowles letterer, and Tom Muller and Jay Bowen were the designs. I'm going to not say that again for the next 3 because they did the 3. X-Men number 27 with a very freaking awesome Joshua Cassara cover. Cyclops' eyes are sewn shut.
Scary.
This was written by, I know the artist Phil Noto. Jerry Duggan was the writer. He also does Uncanny Avengers. Phil Noto, artist. VC's Clayton Cowles, letter. Tom Mueller and Jay Bowen did the design. And then X-Force, which... this book bugged me.
Why? Why did it bug you? Let's start with that one.
I'm really happy that Colossus is breaking free. Hold on. Benjamin Percy, great writer. Robert Gill, he's no Joshua Cassara, but he's doing really well on this. Guru, effects, colors, and VC's Joe Caramagna. What do you want to talk about first?
We'll talk about X-Force. Why did it bug you? I'm curious.
So Mikhail was taken down by a human with a gun that he didn't find. That's how he's getting taken down. That's it. That's how he's taken down. So basically, Mikhail, Colossus's brother,
One of the most powerful mutants.
is one of them. Well, he was taken out by a whatever. There has to be more to the story. I really hope. So he is letting Colossus free, and he is bringing one of the Orcus women, one of their followers, to brainwash her to be his eyes for Orcus. I have been loving the story. A lot of people online, Twitter, they're not really liking it. I have loved Colossus, and his story has always been sad. Whether he's Magneto's acolyte, he has always he died for the legacy cure. Now he's been taken over and being used, and I'm very sad. I'm happy that it's done. No, he can't. No. I just feel like the Rasputins are getting the shaft in every book. Doesn't matter what book. They're just getting the shaft.
Yeah.
So, okay. Domino and Sage, they're trying to get Deadpool. Really cute little pool scene with Deadpool. He jumps in the pool and this woman screams, "No open scabs in the pool." It was gross, but funny. Things are happening. Fall of X is happening. I'm hoping for a little more proactive X-Force team than the brokenness that has been in the last, what issue is this? 45.
That's 5 issues, right?
X-Force has been the book where mutants go to be put through the ringer. First with Beast becoming evil, Colossus, Wolverine. I don't know. I want my X-Force book, but I understand there is no mutants are not a good thing. I get it. But I can't wait till all the Fall of X is over so we can hopefully get to a little more hope in our comic books.
Yeah,
and speaking of hope,
they're going to teach that. They're going to teach that at the school that they all go back to at the end.
Oh my God, no school. Oh, speaking of hope, she meets up with dead Jean Grey in Immortal.
I guess she's not dead.
She's dead, but she's not dead.
She's on some weird peyote mind, altering thing on this planet.
So she was never introduced to the White Hot Room, I guess.
Hope was? No. Hope was never.
I always thought she was at one point.
Hope never. I think only, maybe Emma, maybe, but I think only Jean Grey has ever.
Oh, I thought Rachel did at one time.
Oh, she might have.
Maybe.
But yeah, the White Hot Room is where she is, I guess. Her mind is, and she's just like reliving all her past lives, like a little redhead cat, just meow. So,
some interesting things with Sebastian Shaw and Celine.
Okay, can we talk about that scene?
The giant Iron Man armor.
Talk about his Hellfire armor. Okay, I loved it. I thought that whole scene with him, flying and shooting at Professor X, and Celine doing her thing, and then he was like, "Look, I can give you all the codes, and you can go take back." This is what Charles did. I can give you all the codes, that way you can take back the Hellfire Club, and you can take it and do your thing. And Sebastian Shaw was like,
"I'm out."
So, and he did such. It was the quickest heel turn, and the fact that he said, "Oh no, Professor Charles is taking over my suit," and he fucking blasts Celine, and I'm like, "Oh, they stay hating on her." I'm like, "Jeez, Louise!" And I was like, "What?" So he double crosses Celine and then bounces, and I'm like, "That's the whole."
That's
thing.
Shaw. That's Shaw right in. That's him. Which
actually, to tell you the truth, makes me happy for what's going to happen in Iron Man and that whole thing with Kingpin and all that stuff. So I'm interested.
I'm loving
in seeing,
Iron Man right now.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm really interested to see that story pick up and see where that goes. Where they're having this Hellfire Club, Civil War.
The road down.
Yeah, I want to see that. So I'm really excited for how that transpired. I'm like, funny? Okay.
They added Iron Man to the what you must read in the order list Iron Man. Who would
Yeah.
have ever? I have been reading comics and X-Men. I have never thought I would get Iron Man, except for when the massacre happened. When the massacre happened, you had to read Thor and all these other books. But
also, well, kind of Acts of Vengeance when the Mandarin popped into the X-Men, but that was more of a Mandarin story than it was an Iron Man story.
Yeah.
So I guess no.
And let's talk about what you texted me about that last page.
Oh, so is Charles a clone of Mr. Sinister, the Diamond?
So you didn't read Sins of Sinister, did you?
No, I didn't.
So they all were. So it was every time they were reborn, they would get a little bit more Sinister injected into them. And he eventually took them over.
That's dirty.
And that is why they all had diamonds on their head. They have been cloned so many times that they're full on Sinister. So that monkey was one of Sinister's lab assistants.
With this, so what I thought would happen to Day of the God's Honest Truth, I totally thought that Xavier was messing with the monkeys, and he went crazy, and he was like, "I'm Miss Scott, so monkey." He telepathically made the monkey put on the visors, and I was thinking, "Wow, Charles is straight up crazy."
No, they were Sinisters. It's interesting though that once again, now Xavier. Killing people and maybe a Sinister side, because it's interesting that he didn't even remember doing it, which
so now I'm thinking, so the thing that kind of freaks me out now that you say that is I do remember, because I watched a couple of spoiler videos about the X thing, and I knew that they had in the future they all had the diamonds, and they all had these four different parts of Dr. Sinister, or Mr. Sinister. So I saw that. So that makes sense now. But my thing is, how are they going to purge themselves of that Sinister influence?
Well, they were supposed to have already been purged, and that is the big mystery, seeing as Xavier with that.
Yeah, because didn't they because they found out that they were all compromised because of what Sinister did, and they all stepped down off the Quiet Council.
Correct.
Okay, so that just makes me think now, okay, so they thought they were purged, now they're not, so what does that mean? And that cryptic message, don't kill yourself, is that from Sinister? I'm assuming it is. And so now Sinister, he's gonna use part of that to become stronger, to be able to fight
did Xavier
Orcus?
write it as when he was out of it and doesn't remember it? Who knows?
Yeah, so maybe there's this kind of like overriding switch that flicks when Xavier needs to save himself.
Right. So over in I almost said Uncanny. Over in Just X-Men 27, the cover I was all excited about, and you get teased for a couple pages, and then this becomes a Rasputin teen book.
Yeah.
Rasputin, what do you think of Rasputin since you didn't read Sins of Sinister?
I don't know if I like her or not. I don't think that she needed to come back to the past. Having her as a chimera, I just don't. I think she's a cool character with the 5 of the powers, but she's no Sync, and the fact that she just kept punching Ben Grimm was just like, why?
Do you think it was a little too jokey?
Yeah, I know it was for comic relief, but Ben Grimm, has fought Colossus to a standstill, and beat the crap out of him, from what I understand. So I think he'd be able to take the punch. I don't know. I get what they were doing to put some levity in it, and the flying car a la Harry Potter and all that.
So let me tell you this.
So
X Twitter let me know this week that originally everyone thought she just had Kid Omega's telepathy.
No, telekinesis.
And now in this, we've seen she has his telekinesis too.
Yep. So she's like super powerful and everything. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But I don't know. It's just something about her characters is kind of like bleh.
The other thing, and this is things I think about when I watch TV as well, no one noticed a flying car in all the states they flew over. No one noticed a flying car.
Yeah.
No one looked up once. Sentinel, Orcus,
no sensors,
Iron Man,
no
sensors, no satellites. Orcus now has control.
Yeah. And then Reed Richards, the whole thing about like Reed Richards dawning on him that like, oh, I can give the mutants a low dose of Terrigen Mist and they can be hidden. And I'm thinking, okay. So I don't know. Some of these X books are kind of hit and miss for me. I really wish that they would just get to the. I really wish that they would
get to it.
Yeah, get to it, and let's get to the fall of this X a little bit sooner because y'all are stretching it out a little too much. Come on.
But I'm gonna say we will keep reviewing because I love the X-Men.
Yeah, me too.
So I want to say another great show.
Yes,
another great show.
And thank you all for
I want to remind everyone that we will not have a new show next week, but we will return on October 19th with 2 weeks worth of books in 1 hour because our last half hour, we will be interviewing Dave O'Shea from the Glory Hole.
Yeah.
You are watching us on The Experience. Be sure to stay tuned for Sketch Up with Mog and Mel coming up at 7 o'clock tonight or 10 if you're on the East Coast. Be sure to like us, subscribe, follow, tell your friends. We love what we do. We love talking comic books.
And we love talking comics with you. So Thank you so much for joining. If you know anybody that you think would really, mesh well, enjoy our content, please let them know. And they can join us not next time, but the following time. So it'll give you times to catch up on our older episodes so you get to know us better.
All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a great night. Coog says bye. I say bye. Des says bye. Bye.
See you later.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.